नमस्कार, रागगिरी वीकेंड इंटरव्यू सीरीज में आप सभी का स्वागत है। इस हफ्ते हमारी मेहमान हैं चेलो प्लेयर सास्किया राव जी। पिछले हिस्से में हमने उनसे बातचीत की उनके बचपन के बारे में और परिवार में संगीत प्रेम के बीच उनका संगीत सफर कैसा शुरू हुआ इसके बारे में। इसके अलावा हमने बातचीत की उनके भारत आने के बारे में भी। इस हिस्से में बातचीत करेंगे कि इंडियन चेलो को भारतीय संगीत में ढालने में उन्हें किस तरह की चुनौतियों का करना पड़ा सामना। हम इंटरव्यू के दूसरे हिस्से में आते हैं और सास्किया जी, आप देयर मस्ट बी मेनी चैलेंजेस। what are the challenges to introduce a new instrument to Indian music, and what are the changes you made in your way of playing the cello?
Challenges तो है, लेकिन I think when we see music as difficult and challenge, ऐसे तो नहीं है, huh? Actually, I started the cello in Indian music because I wanted to learn more about the music. Since I was already a cellist, I thought, why don't I do it on the cello and learn a bit more? Then it pulled me in further and further and further. So that, I think when I started out, I had no idea what I got myself into, to be quite honest. The more deeper we go into a subject, the more we find out that is there. And I think that is the beauty of this music. Every year, every month, a new layer shows itself to be discovered, to be understood. And that is just beautiful. So that is one part, the music itself, to feel it, to make it your own, to live it. These are the intangibles. You know, you can't quantify it. You can't say, if you practice 10, 20 hours a day, you'll get that. It doesn't work like that. You need to live it through. You need to be with the music. For me, also living in India, in New Delhi, helps a lot. I think just living the music, living the culture. And that way, yeah, you feel connected with the music. I feel it's my music. I don't play another music. I identify with this. So that is one. And then the technical part. How do we make the gamakas? How do we follow the rag structure in the best possible way, that you follow the Raaggiri, that you know exactly what you're doing. So those things can be taught, the tala, raga, and is about practice and about talim. So talim, I've been extremely, extremely fortunate that I've been with such giving, kind, amazing gurus, because that's whatever I do right is them. Whatever mistakes are all my own. That is one thing. But the other is, of course, practice and do that research. How do I want this to sound? Is this... So practice it in many, many different ways, everything. That was my approach. So the playing style is really very different from a Western cello, both in the bowing as well as in the left-hand techniques. So these are things we need to develop. That takes time and practice. So one is practice, one is immersing yourself in the music.
बिल्कुल, संगीत का संभवतः मूल मंत्र भी यही है कि एक तो रियाज चाहिए और दूसरा आप उस संगीत में डूब जाएं। इसका एक इसकी जो एक मतलब क्या कहना चाहिए कि इसकी जो एक जरूरत है कह लें, वो उसका जिक्र कर रही हैं आप भारत इंडियन म्यूजिक ग्रेट्स में आप किसको ज्यादा सुनती रही शुरू से?
Acha, of course, my gurus, my husband, Pandit Ravi Shankar, and then as much as possible. I always love to listen to the old masters, of course, but also the young musicians who come with so many nice, good ideas in the music. Some very good, some, yeah, a nice idea. It might materialize or not. But there's a lot of interesting things happening as well. So, yeah, a lot. But if I'm at home and really just want to listen to some great music, I'll, yeah, any of them I heard greats, I'll listen. That.
अच्छा सास्किया जी, भारतीय शास्त्रीय संगीत में अक्सर आध्यात्म की बात होती है, दर्शन की बात होती है. आप what is the spiritual and philosophical impact of Indian classical music, if you can define for us?
Yes, that's a big subject, isn't it? So
Yes.
I don't think any one person can define that.
No.
It's something to be experienced, and to experience that, I think we need to understand that a raga is not a piece of music. Sometimes right now we present a show with a beginning and an end and clap, clap, clap. Oh, thank you, thank you. It's not about that at all. A raga is a personification of an emotion, of a mood, of it's somewhere in the air. We just borrow it for some time, give our own roep, our own expression to it, and release it again in nature, in whatever the cosmos is. So that is the connection, which is the music itself. When we make it too down to earth, too formalized in a way, we do lose out a bit of the music. To experience this quality of the music, Shubhendra and I had started what we call the silence concerts. And in that concert, we asked the audience, leave your mobile at the entrance. So kuch, applause, announcements, kuch nahi, sirf music, and then after the music, silence. So those 2 minutes of silence after the music is the most impactful silence you can ever imagine. So to me, that is the impact of this music.
बिल्कुल. और आपने शुभेंद्र दा का नाम लिया. सब्सक्राइबर्स जानना चाहेंगे, भारत के लीडिंग सितारिस्ट हैं, और ही इज सच अ हम्बल मैन, ही इज सच अ हम्बल म्यूजिशियन. हम लोग मतलब कभी भी ऐसा लगता नहीं उनसे बात करके कि वो संगीत में किस मुकाम पर हैं. उनकी हम्बलनेस, उनका पोलाइटनेस, ही इज समथिंग डिफरेंट. सास्किया जी, मतलब अभी मैं जैसा बात कर रहा था, कैन यू talk about his music, how you inspire each other, and the unique music you create together in your world famous Jugalbandis with Shubhendra Da?
Yes, he indeed is an amazing, amazing artist. And what is so special, one of the qualities of his music is that he is a musician's musician. You mentioned humbleness. That comes from his very, very deep belief that the art is always greater than the artist. That his guru is, yeah, always his divinity to him, and he lives that. It's not just theory and something he says, he lives that day in, day out. So that is where that greatness in the music comes from. And you can hear that, you can experience that when you hear his music. That is that real depth of the music that he can bring out, apart from always practicing and having that mastery over his instrument. Now, what we do together is a pure classical jugalbandi of sitar and Indian cello, which is really, really wonderful. We just were in Shimla, which was also a lovely, lovely experience to perform there together again. Yeah, of course, with this whole pandemic, we were online a lot, but not as much maybe, but it's not the same. Now we're really, really happy that we're performing again, having some very lovely projects coming up as well, performing again in India, both the classical jugalbandi as well as our own compositions. It's really wonderful to create new music as well. And I think in a way, yeah, it's a lovely thing to do together as well. Now we're working on a project at the National Gallery of Modern Arts, where we have interpreted different paintings and set that to music. So it's like about the Ganga, the river, the song of water, and paintings from the Dutch sea. And we've put that together thematically and created our musical expression with each of the paintings, so that we'll perform live with projections of the paintings. So these kind of projects are interesting, where we bring together different art forms and try in a way to be in the mind of these great painters. What did they feel? What did they want to express? And express those emotions through our music.
हम लोग अक्सर कलाओं के अंदर अंतर संबंधों की बात करते हैं, इंटर रिलेशनशिप ऑफ आर्ट्स जो कहते हैं, वही एक उसी तरफ बढ़ता हुआ एक आयाम है, जहां पेंटिंग पर पेंटिंग की तरह से सोचते हुए, उस पेंटिंग को समझते हुए संगीत तैयार किया गया है। निश्चित तौर पर ये एक बहुत दिलचस्प और शानदार बेमिसाल अनुभव होगा जब इसको हम इससे रूबरू होंगे तब। सास्किया जी, यू हैव परफॉर्म्ड अक्रॉस ऑलमोस्ट अक्रॉस द ग्लोब। अब कुछ अपने पुराने परफॉर्मेंसेस जो आपके दिल के बहुत करीब हों, फ्यू मेमोरीज फ्रॉम योर प्रीवियस परफॉर्मेंसेस।
So many. It's always about communicating with an audience, whether it is at the Dover Lane Music Conference or Central Australia or at the Kennedy Center or a Spic McKay's concert for underprivileged children. So that is the main thing. We communicate. That doesn't mean that you play to the gallery. That's a different thing. But to communicate is really, really important. So I think two experiences. One, in Australia, we were working together with the Central Women Aboriginal Women's Choir, Shubhendra and I. And we had created a piece for them based on their own composition, and it was really beautiful. But it started with these women from a complete different place, a complete different background, chanting Om. And the way they chanted that, I mean, it was from such depth, really from the depths of the earth, that Om just came up. Just gorgeous. So then you really realize that it connects us, music. So that was one very powerful. Another, for me, a memory I'll always treasure is in my heart. Many years ago, we played at the Maihar festival near Baba's house, Baba Alauddin Khan, founder of Maihar Gharana. And there was this old gentleman with the hat and the traditional clothes, clearly from the area, raised there, maybe not a high education or a wealthy man, just from there. And after a performance at 4:30 in the morning, he came to me with tears in his eyes and said, "Who said that Ma Saraswati is only Indian?" So to me, that was one of the most humbling experiences. It was also early in my career that I heard that remark, and it was very touching. So I always carry those words from him with me.
मैहर घराना यानी बाबा का जो जिक्र किया अभी सास्किया जी ने, पंडित रविशंकर जी के गुरु भी रहे और भारतीय शास्त्रीय संगीत के महानतम कलाकारों में अगर आप कहें तो उनका नाम शुमार है। उनको तो मतलब उनका जितना जितना बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूशन है उनका, वो बहुत ही बड़ी बात है भारतीय शास्त्रीय संगीत के लिए। सास्किया जी, रिसेंटली यू हैव रिटन योर 8th बुक शास्त्र, और वो भी उसको भी आपने काफी कनेक्ट किया है यंगस्टर्स से, जो यंग म्यूजिक लवर्स हैं उनके लिए, या जो म्यूजिक लवर्स नहीं भी हैं जिनको शौक है पढ़ने का उनके लिए। इस किताब के बारे में बताइए।
अच्छा, ये किताब शास्त्र is a short history of Indian music from 5,000 years ago to now. So we start with the origin of music, Om, as the creation of the universe, but also in science, we use the Big Bang. In the Bible, it's written there first was the word. So everywhere sound is the origin of the whole universe, literally. Then we go to Indus Valley, whatever excavations were there of music. Go to Vedic chanting, how from the Rig Veda, Sam Veda was created, and Samgana. Then we go to the classical period of music and drama in the Natya Shastra, but also other treatises like the Bradeshi and a few others that needs to be spoken about. Go to the Middle Ages, Amir Khusro, the origin of Carnatic Sangeet with Purandara Dasa, then to Darbar Sangeet, Mian Tansen, the origin of Drupad, then the origin of Khayal, Tumri, Tapa, all those. Then we go to the Gharanas and instruments that were developed in India. And then we come to briefly the origin of film music, how it came together finally in the 20th century, 21st century as tradition and technology, where all these styles are still very much alive, but in different contexts. Then the artwork is just absolutely outstanding. It's by a British artist, Colin Campbell, and I'm happy to mention his name because each drawing is like a little masterwork. So that makes this subject, which might sound a little dry to people, it's very, very accessible. And it's literally accessible for adults, of course, but also for a 12-year-old or a 14-year-old who you want to introduce to tradition, but not in a too high-handed, difficult way. For that reason, Shubhendraji and I started Sangeet for All, a music program for children, because we felt that we need more resources and easy access for our youth and children to Shastriya Sangeet. It's with all the respect and love we have for our gurus, sometimes we put classical music on too high a pedestal. And we tell scary stories like you need to tie your hair into the ceiling and practice 15 hours and blood all over the walls while practicing. And then there's this other side. There's a guy playing 5 chords on the guitar. Say, come and sing with me. Which one will the child choose? And the child is not wrong. So we need to understand the methodology and pedagogy of how children learn. In musical families, we never set our son down for 1 or 2 hours of lessons when he was 2 or 3. It happened around him. And that's how he picked it up playfully. Ishaan, which raga is this? So, and then that encouragement and love and loving care, that helps young children. So that's how by age 2, he already could recognize and just sing basic outlines of about 20 ragas. And that's very common in musical families. Not because we sit them down and make them practice with their hires tied to the ceiling. That's a much, much later stage, a much more mature stage when someone is ready to surrender and dive deep. So that those experiences are between age 15 and 25. That's that practice, that crazy practice of 10 to 20 hours. But not when a 4-year-old starts with music. That's, yeah.
I was about to ask you about this Sangeet for All. और जो सब्सक्राइबर्स हैं उनको मैं बताना चाहूँगा कि शुभेंद्र दा और सास्किया जी का जो फाउंडेशन है उसकी ये पहल है संगीत फॉर ऑल। और वो पहल दरअसल जो संगीत को आप कहें कि शिक्षा से जोड़ने की जो जरूरत है, इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ म्यूजिक एजुकेशन अगर मैं कहूँ, तो उस दिशा में इन लोगों का किया गया काम है, और बहुत ही बारीकी से अगर आप समझें इसको, और अगर आप संक्षेप में समझना चाहें, तो छोटे बच्चे को आप डराएं नहीं कि शास्त्रीय संगीत तो एक ऐसी कला है जिसमें 15 घंटे रियाज करना पड़ता है, और सर के बाल आप बिठा उसमें बांधे जाते हैं और बैठ के ताकि रियाज हो सके। उससे अच्छा है उसको आसान स्टेप्स में बताइए कि शास्त्रीय संगीत क्या है। उसकी गहराइयों में जाने के लिए उसको छोड़ दीजिए, वो खुद से उसकी गहराइयां तलाशेगा, और फिर उसमें वो खुद गोते लगाएगा, उसको उसके आनंद को उसके उसके आनंद को वो तब समझेगा। और बहुत ही खूबसूरत प्रयास है ये। एक सवाल मेरा आखिरी बस ये कि इफ समबडी वांट्स टू रीड योर बुक, ऑनलाइन अवेलेबल है क्या, और है तो
हाँ,
कैसे?
हाँ, हमारा वेबसाइट संगीत SANGEET for numeral for all .com. You can go there. Alternately, you can go to unlockthemusic.org. And there you can also find a lot of other activities with music for your children, like Raga Mala painting, Raga Mala poetry, music reviews, and all our concerts from the online Unlock the Music series, where we had many greats of Indian music, such as Vasifuddin Dagar, Sonal Mansingh, Madhup Mudgal, Pandit Tijendra Majumdar, all of these absolute great artists. There are at least 1.5 hour performances of theirs with background information. So that's unlockthemusic.org. And from there, you can also order your copy of Shastra, or even for the younger children, the books Dhvani, Vadya, or any of those. Yeah.
तो जो लोग भी इंटरव्यू देख रहे हैं और चाहते हैं कि अपने घर के बच्चों को कुछ एक ऐसा नायाब तोहफा दें जो जीवन भर उनके साथ रहे, जरूर इन किताबों को घर में लाएं। ये किताबें सिर्फ किताब नहीं है, ये संस्कार हैं जो आप अपने बच्चों को एक गिफ्ट के तौर पर दे सकते हैं। थैंक यू सो वेरी मच सास्किया जी, आपने समय निकाला, और बहुत अच्छी बातचीत रही, और बहुत ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं।
Thank you for having me. बहुत pleasure. Thank you.
थैंक यू।